Barely a few weeks after the former president Uhuru Kenyatta called on the African youths to rise up and stand up for their rights, telling them that there will not be anyone coming outside Africa to effect change that the youths want. And he told them that it is their time and the time is not tomorrow, but now to take up the leadership of the country. Those statements didn't sit well with the government of the day because they interpreted the words to mean that the former president wanted the youth to rise up against the Kenya Kwanza government. Now, his brother Muhoho Kenyatta has also made statements that will only attract a lot of onslaught from the government. Muhoho Kenyatta was officiating a conference that majorly deals with the youths, the Duke of Edinburgh International Awards. This award was founded in 1956 and it was meant to recognize the achievement of the youths. Currently, it is operating in over 140 countries and serving more than 7 million youths. So Muhoho Kenyatta is the trustee of the Duke of Edinburgh International Award Foundation and the chair in Africa. So by the virtue of his position, he was officiating this event that was taking place in Mombasa, and he called on the youths of Africa because this was the Duke of Edinburgh Awards in Africa. So he called on the youths of Africa, this time around telling them to grasp the opportunity. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta had told them that everything favors them. They have everything at the palm of their hand. He was telling that their numbers, the numbers favor them, the energy favor them, and even the technology. They are the ones that are advanced technologically. Now, Muhoho Kenyatta on his side was saying that they should grasp this with passion, innovation, and energy. So both Uhuru Kenyatta and Muhoho Kenyatta feel that it is the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to watch the statements from Muhoho Kenyatta, statements which I believe by tomorrow you will see people like Kimani Chungwa, people like Osoro, people like Farouk Kibet. You will see them attacking Muhoho Kenyatta as if he was targeting the Kenyan youths. Yet the truth is, he was talking about Africa. Before we do this, ladies and gentlemen, I have got a very delicate and a very urgent issue. There is a student who is stranded at JKUAT. This student joined in 2018. The lot that they enrolled with graduated last year. But due to lack of fees, he deferred because there was no money. Now, they have started exams. Despite deferring his studies, he's unable to get school fees. So as we speak, yeye ako kwa nyumba, ako kwa hostels na wengine wanaendelea na mtihani. And he's really crying for us to help him kindly. This is the student. Listen to him with a lot of empathy and sympathy.
Hello everyone, naitwa Francis. Mimi ni mwanafunzi JKUAT in my 4th year of studies, nasomea electrical engineering. Registration number yangu ni ENE 211-0053/2018. Sababu yangu ya kutengeneza hii video ni kwa sababu naomba usaidizi. Nimekuwa nikisaidiwa na watu pamoja na kupata help mpaka my 4th year semester ya kwanza back in 2023. The only other person ningeegemea kama msaidizi wangu ni mama yangu, lakini pia yeye anafanya tu kazi ya kibarua na pia amekuwa akichunga like my 2 other little sisters. So kufikia semester ya pili mko 2023 December, nilikuwa forced kudefer because singeweza kulipa karo. Nikajikakamua, nikajifunza skill and then nilipata kazi ya kufanya online. Nikarudi tena shule semester ya pili. Na kufikia sasa kazi ilikuwa imeisha na hata ile fee ambayo nilikuwa nadaiwa the 17,000 sijaweza kuilipa. Watu wanafanya mtihani ilianza tarehe 5 jana. Sijaweza kufanya because nilifukuzwa. Hata mali nakaa nje because nikirudi sikupata hostel. Na kwa wale ambao wanajua housing market ya Juja haikuangi bei nafuu sana kwa wanafunzi. Nimekuwa pia na arrears, hata kama niliongelesha landlord wangu, nimekuwa na arrears za miezi kadhaa, nikijumlisha na hii like ananidai around 24,000. So kindly, like mtihani inaendelea na mimi niko kwa room, siwezi fanya chochote. Mwenye tu ataguzwa, tafadhali naomba kwa unyenyekevu nisaidie tu, at least nifanye mtihani zenye zimebaki na nisikuwe forced ku make the same tough decision nililazimishwa huko 2023 ya ku defer my studies again. Kindly, na najua pia mimi Mungu atanibariki siku moja, I'll amount to someone and I will pay it forward. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, even as we listen to the analysis of what is happening in the country, please let us help Francis. You can imagine he deferred last year wakati wenzake walikuwa na graduate. So sahi pia ako stranded, mtihani inafanywa na yeye ako tu kwa nyumba. And is really pleading. He's even written a letter to the Dean of Electrical Engineering Department explaining that sijakataa kufanya mtihani, ni vile sina pesa. Guys, I keep on saying this. This story touches my heart because I remember a few years ago, nilitolewa kwa exam room at Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. I was literally shedding tears. So when I get such stories of a young boy who is our future leader stranded, I think we can spare something. It touches me. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. We can spare just 50 shillings to mlipie. Kindly, there are two ways of paying. You can use my MPESA number there. The name is there, FREDRICK. You can send, because we really need to do this urgently. Imagine the exams are ongoing. We really need to do this very urgently. You can send through my MPESA number. Then, if possible, we can only give it a day. In fact, a day. If we get that money, the school fees there is only 17,000 Kenya shillings. You can imagine such little money. I wish ningekuwa nayo kwa mfuko, ningempelekea. And then he's got arrears of rent accumulating to over 24,000 Kenya shillings, and maybe some shopping. I was just capping it at 50,000. If we can get the school fees, rent, and a few shopping there, it will really go a long way in helping him. We've done this before. Please, I plead with you, let us do this to him. If you want to pay directly to the bank, please call me, because there's a process there. Call me so that I connect with you, I give you the process. If you can clear that fee, please. And if we can get someone who can sponsor Francis, because he deferred. Hata sahi tunamsaidia, we only hope that hapo mbele alikuwa anafanya some online jobs, but hiyo pia ilikatika. So kindly let us help a brother. This could be your son, depending on your age. This could be your brother. Please let us help him. Thank you very much, even as you prepare to give. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Muhoho Kenyatta.
As I look around this room, I see the faces of dedicated young individuals who, despite numerous challenges, continue to champion the cause of youth development across our diverse continent. Your presence here today is a testament of your unwavering belief in the potential of every young person in Africa to be a catalyst for positive change. It is their time now to grasp and take over the mantle of leadership, and as such, the stewardship of our continent with their passion, innovation, and energy. Africa's youth population is projected to reach nearly 830 million by the year 2050. A startling reality. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to urgently refocus.
Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. I always request for that support. Let us grow together. Thank you for those whom we started with at 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we are at 24. I think that is an achievement, and I want to thank you so very much. Please like and share videos. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want us to discuss now is when Uhuru Kenyatta was talking about empowerment of the youths, and he told them it is your time. He was talking about youths in Africa, and he was in Uganda. But the government of the day interpreted the statements to mean ya kwamba anachochea our youth. Muhoho Kenyatta has spoken. I want you to check by tomorrow. You will see the whole brigade, wale ambao tunawaitanga wanakwaya, the president worship team in Ruto's government. They will start attacking the Kenyatta family. Yet clearly, when you look at that conference where Mr. Muhoho was, it was a conference, an international conference, this time around the African branch, and it involves the youths. But they don't understand this. I want us to try and look at, why do you think the government is scared about anyone who speaks about the youths? Because coincidentally, it falls. They just found themselves that it was Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, and then Muhoho Kenyatta. From where you sit, why do you think the government is so much scared about the youths? And do you think the statements will land them in problems? And by the way, hiyo kizungu, I've never listened to Muhoho Kenyatta speak. Hiyo kizungu in a flow. I liked it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think the beef between the Kenyatta family and now the Kenyatta family and the Ruto family has subsided? If you ask me, it hasn't. And I want to give you just 4 reasons why I believe that the government is scared. Number one, the events of last year, June, when youths revolt, when youths went to the streets and said, we are not going to accept this finance bill 2024. It is not going to be business as usual. Ruto was scared stiff. Members of parliament were under curfew. They were never going to church. They were never reporting to their rural homes. Some of their homes, like that was Didmas Baraza, the fences were brought down. It was very pathetic. It was a rage. So they still remember those events, how youths invaded parliament and took tea there. They were saying, this is our money, taxpayers' money. So those events still linger very freshly in their minds. And that's why they are scared about anyone who talks and tells the youth that you should rise up. Number two, when it comes from anyone from the Kenyatta family, Ruto understands how he really intimidated that family immediately he ascended to power. He withdrew the security of Mama Ngina, and I think this was a vengeful mission. There was a time when Fred Matiang'i downsized his security, so he wanted to show them that I'm in power. They accused Uhuru's son of being in possession of some illegal guns. They accused Mama Ngina of evading taxes, and this didn't stand well with the family. So Ruto simply understands that Uhuru would want someone, or that family would want someone to take over from William Ruto, and then William Ruto will face the same consequences. So they are really, really very scared. Anything that is now mentioning the youth is a thorn in the flesh, because recently BBC released an expose that really indicted William Samoei Ruto, because William Samoei Ruto is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. And so anything that is done by the police or the military, it falls under the purview of William Samoei Ruto. So he was indicted. It is him that indirectly killed the youth. Because let me tell you, a military officer cannot come out of the barracks and shoot people if at all that documentary is true. So they don't want this to be talked about, because it reminds the whole nation that this government is a butcher. That's why anyone who's telling the youth that you need to rise up becomes an enemy. The country is still very, very volatile, because after the events of June 2024, youths were kidnapped, they were killed, they were maimed, way after the incidences of June. And there is a lot of bad blood between the government and the youths. They are struggling to tell the youth that, we love you, but it's not happening. When Raila got into the government, they revived those who have been in power, governors, both if you look at Governor Paranya and you look at Governor Joe, the former governors, you look at even those from supposedly Uhuru's side, people like Kabogo, youth really feel that they're being misused. Yet you remember William Ruto had promised that this was going to be a government of the hustlers. And William Ruto had told them that they will not allow people like Raila Amolo Odinga to get into their government. You know, youth really woke up, especially from Central, from Mount Kenya, and they voted for William Ruto. Now they are being betrayed. So when you tell youth to rise up, you are awakening the youth. So the government is just running away from her own shadows. Then remember, the Finance Bill 2025 is here with us now. Time flies so fast. John Mbadi promises that is going to give us a very wonderful budget. But you see, politicians always say the same. Last year they told us the same and they were cherry picking things that they thought were good for us. I don't know. We have increased tax on goods that are being imported into the country to promote, our Kenyan products. Yet there were a lot of burning issues. So the imagination that we are headed for the Finance Bill 2025 is really a very bad feeling, because they know inside that finance bill is a recipe for disaster. I can assure you that if they're not careful, people are going to go to the streets again, not unless they are very careful. So this is the reason why they are really shaken whenever someone talks about the youths and urges the youth that it is their time. But let me ask you, mimi kila siku nasikia wanayuthi wanaambiwa you're the future generation, but the future doesn't arrive. It arrives when those who are in leadership wakufe maybe. Na hata wakikufa, it is like hereditary. Their sons and daughters and closest relatives take over. So the youths are really mad, and I can assure you that time is changing. Anyone who does not want to confront the issues of the youth will be confronted instead. How I wish that William Ruto could look at this with a very fine-tooth comb to understand what is happening, because they will not escape this, ladies and gentlemen. And if it is true that the Kenyatta family has got a hidden hand when they talk about the youth, then it only means that they have not forgiven William Samoei Ruto. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make out of the statements from Muhoho Kenyatta? Do you think he just got an advantage? He found a conference where he could now air his views, urging the youth, yet at the back of his mind there is something that is targeting? I don't know. It is time for the youths, whether you like it or not, and this time round it is inescapable. The only thing that the youth should do is to register as voters. I always summarize them in four structures. Register as voters, shun corruption, shun tribalism, and ensure that they wake up very early in the morning to elect one of their own or their choice. I don't know what you think, but that is my take. Please let us help Francis kabla mtihani haijaisha. If you have watched this video to this end, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Please subscribe, like, and share.